You're scrolling on your phone in bed for the third night in a row. You reach for a word mid-sentence, and it just isn't there anymore. You tell yourself it's stress, or age, or just having a lot going on. Most people believe a foggy brain is simply the price of getting older or being busy. That belief is wrong, or at least dangerously incomplete. Your brain isn't declining because of one big event. It's being worn down by small daily habits you've been told are harmless. Scientists call the buildup of this damage neural attrition. It's a slow erosion of brain tissue and function from repeated, low-grade stress. Nobody warns you that ordinary habits, done daily, can quietly shrink the exact regions of your brain responsible for memory and focus. Here's how it actually starts, layer by layer. Every night, your brain runs a cleaning cycle called the glymphatic system. It's a network of channels that flushes out metabolic waste while you sleep. One of the toxins it clears is beta amyloid, a protein linked directly to cognitive decline when it builds up. A 2013 study from the University of Rochester found this clearance process runs up to 60% faster during deep sleep than while awake. Cut your deep sleep short, and that waste simply doesn't get flushed out. Not forgetfulness. Buildup. Now add chronic stress into the mix. Your body responds to constant pressure by releasing cortisol, a hormone meant for short bursts of danger, not all-day emails and traffic. Neuroscientist Robert Sapolsky's research shows prolonged cortisol exposure physically shrinks the hippocampus. That's the brain region responsible for forming new memories. So what happens when you try to multitask your way through all of this? A 2014 study out of the University of Sussex scanned the brains of participants who regularly used multiple screens at once. Heavy media multitaskers showed measurably lower gray matter density in the anterior cingulate cortex, the region that governs focus and emotional control. Your brain isn't built to split attention endlessly. It's built to do one thing, then another. Force it to juggle, and the structure holding your focus together starts to thin. Then there's the habit nobody thinks of as a brain habit at all, sitting still. A landmark study from the University of Pittsburgh tracked adults who exercised regularly against those who didn't. The active adults had noticeably larger hippocampal volume than their sedentary peers of the same age. Movement triggers a protein called BDNF, brain-derived neurotrophic factor, which acts like fertilizer for new brain cells. Skip the movement, and that fertilizer never gets applied. Even something as simple as your water bottle plays a role. Research from the University of Connecticut tested what happens when the body loses just a small amount of water. Losing just 2% of your body's water content was enough to impair concentration and short-term memory. 2%. That's the difference between a sharp afternoon and a foggy one. Now here's the habit most people never even suspect: loneliness. A study published by Rush University tracked older adults and found that the loneliest among them had double the risk of developing dementia compared to the socially connected. Isolation doesn't just feel bad. It measurably changes how your brain ages. And finally, the one hiding in plain sight on your plate. UCLA researcher Fernando Gomez-Pinilla found that diets high in sugar and processed fat impair the brain's ability to use insulin. Insulin is essential for forming new memories. Your brain runs on glucose, but only when it can actually access it properly. Flood it with sugar spikes all day, and that access starts to fail. Here's the part that should genuinely alarm you. None of these habits alone would do much damage. The problem is that most people are doing 4 or 5 of them simultaneously, every single day, for years. Poor sleep raises cortisol. Cortisol worsens focus. Poor focus increases screen time. Screen time replaces movement. Movement replaces sleep, and the cycle closes in on itself. This isn't 7 separate problems. It's one feedback loop wearing down the same handful of brain regions from every direction at once. So what can you actually do about it? Honestly, less than you'd hope. You can't undo years of buildup with one green smoothie or one early bedtime. But the research is consistent. Sleep, daily movement, and real in-person connection are the 3 levers with the most evidence behind them. It's not glamorous, and it's not fast. It's just the boring, unavoidable maintenance your brain has been quietly asking for. So tonight, when you reach for your phone in bed for the 3rd night in a row, remember what's actually happening in there while you scroll. Your brain isn't declining because you're getting older. It's declining because nobody ever told you the small stuff was the big stuff.